How are you today, Darnell?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah? You know what's not doing good?
What?
Our channel. We're hemorrhaging subscribers.
All right. Let's try to be a little happy about that then.
We can be happy about the games we got coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Splatoon 2. Can we get into that? Are we going to get into that?
We're going to get into it a little bit, but I just want to say that if you were Team Ketchup, I hate you.
I'm Team Ketchup.
I hate you.
All right, let's keep it moving.
All right, next game we're going to get into is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, or PUBG, the Twitch phenomenon. Talking about chicken dinners, Katniss Everdeen, jumping into Malta, prison bases. And then our last game is like one of your favorites, right?
No, actually, I can't stand Sonic.
Okay, so our last game is Sonic Mania. I thought it was fine. Thought it was a good game.
Sonic game was Sonic and Knuckles on Genesis, that's all.
Until Sonic Mania.
Maybe, I don't know.
All right, well, without further ado, let's get into Splatoon 2. Team Mayo!
Are you a kid or a squid? Do you like ketchup or mayo? Would you rather fly or be invisible? Splatoon 2 tries to answer all of life's questions and more. Splatoon 2 is the fun sequel to the 2015 Wii U hit Splatoon. Unfortunately, since only 10 people owned a Wii U, Nintendo decided to create a sequel for the Nintendo Switch, allowing the people who own the only 20 in the US to enjoy it. Stock shortage rant aside, Splatoon 2 feels more like a slightly upgraded port rather than a full-out sequel. If you're unfamiliar with the concept of Splatoon, the idea is unique and simple. You're a kid with an ink blaster who can use anything as a canvas, turn into a squid, and then use that ink to travel. So, you're a squid kid. The biggest game mode Splatoon 2 has to offer is its multiplayer. Here you'll fight against people online in teams of 4. However, unlike traditional shooters that have you killing the other team for points, Splatoon's point system comes from how much ink you can splatter. At the end of each round, the team who has spread the most ink around the map is the winner. You can kill the opposing team members, but this is only done to slow them down so you have more time to ink, as they simply respawn and start inking again. It's simple enough, right? Well, while everything about Splatoon 2 feels nice, from the weapons to gameplay, the music and stage design, it also feels a bit too familiar. The problem is there isn't a huge difference between this Splatoon and the first one. The story mode, while fun, had a very predictable plot that many were able to figure out just from brief teasers and images. This led to a letdown on what was supposed to be the grand finale, since I knew from the moment I started playing what to expect. The single-player campaign was a bit nicer this time around. Having you traverse different levels and being dependent on certain weapons or abilities helped to familiarize the player with each of the different weapons and gameplay mechanics. But even so, it would have been nice to have seen a bigger difference between the first and second title. Familiarity and predictability aside, Splatoon 2 is still a fun game. There's plenty of weapons to choose from, each having their own unique abilities and uses. There's also different gear you can equip that allow for various stat boosts and other buffs, such as saving ink or a faster cooldown time on sub-weapons such as ink bombs. My biggest gripe is something that wasn't addressed in the first game and is still around now: the map rotation. Rather than having a large pool of maps all at once to choose from and vote on, the maps rotate every few hours. What this means is you'll be forced to play on the same 2 maps repeatedly if you choose to play a lot of matches in succession. This gets old very fast in Splatoon 2, same as it did in the first one. It's bad enough the game feels too familiar in gameplay regards, but keeping a bad mechanic like this just isn't doing the game any favors. Overall, Splatoon 2 is an incredible title for the Switch. If you missed out on the first one and you're looking for a fun, unique experience, you owe it to yourself to try this game out. Being one of Nintendo's biggest hits this summer, the Splatoon momentum doesn't appear to be slowing down anytime soon. Unfortunately, for those of us who played the first one, you'll be stuck paying the full retail price for a game that just feels all too familiar. Still fun, but not enough changes to justify it being called a true sequel. A 4 out of 5.
Well, that was Splatoon 2. Great game for the Switch. Thank God I have something to play besides Zelda now, because I've been waiting for months. Rabbids, please. Soon. Anyways, Darnell. You're a little paler.
Who are you? Who's paying you? You're not supposed to be here right now.
Wait, how much are you making?
I don't know who that guy is.
It's really weird that someone from a former show would come back and we wouldn't know who he was.
Yeah, that's odd.
Anyways, next game up we have PUBG, or PlayerUnknown Battleground, a game I've spent way too many hours in, maybe 120, maybe not.
120 hours?
You know, yeah.
You can't be casual about that. That's way too much time.
It's a fun game. You get dropped in and anyway, just listen to the review. You're gonna agree with me and you're gonna love it. I may or may not have wrote it.
Too much time.
5 out of 5.
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, or PUBG, is an arena survival shooter in which the player of solo, duo, or a squad of 4 get dropped in to make a total of 100 players. After you choose your ever so important drop point, you must loot as quickly as possible and get the best possible gear while fending off anybody who also landed around you. Although the map is large, there are a lot of populated areas that will get you a higher chance at better loot. If you manage to survive your initial drop, you must locate the play zone on your map, which is a white zone that closes as the match goes on, forcing the players to get closer, preventing camping and forever matches. A blue circle also closes in, damaging players who don't make their way to the play area. The object is to be the last person alive and get your hands on the delicious chicken dinner. The game combines precision shooting, communication for squads, listening for enemies, and stress management. The controls are mouse and keyboard with controller support on the way, and are all very tight, and most seasoned PC players will have no challenge adapting. If you're a console player, it might take some time before you get used to a game like this. Sound plays a huge part in surviving. Whether it's hearing cars coming from any direction, or listening for nearby gunshots, or someone walking or reloading in the same house as you, it can be the difference between life and death. PUBG is a lot of short bursts of action sandwiched in between being scared for your life and looting. The few moments a game where you are in a firefight are exhilarating, and will leave you coming back for more shots of dopamine to get your fill. A 5 out of 5.
So that was our review of PlayerUnknown's
Wait.
Battlegrounds.
Why are you here again?
I just want to be.
Why?
I just want to be involved.
For why though?
I need friends.
Oh, okay.
It's lonely.
That's a very valid reason.
Okay.
Never mind.
Up next on the show, find out what happens when Sega lets fans make a Sonic game. Turns out it's better than anything they could ever come up with. What you got there? Watch for pedestrians. What are you talking about?
You know, he's super fast.
Because he's fast?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You don't like Sonic, do you?
No, not at all.
Why not?
Because Sonic and Knuckles was the last great game.
Well, thankfully, Sonic Mania is a true successor to that. So without further ado, here's our review for Sonic Mania.
Guys, I'm here. I'm here for the review. I'm here for the. I just want to do the review. I just want it.
Whenever a new Sonic game is announced, it's easy to be cautiously optimistic and have low expectations. Sega hasn't had the best track record in recent years with the Sonic franchise, but Sonic Mania looks to change all of that. Many Sonic fans will argue that Sonic's greatest days are behind him, left behind in the Genesis era, with the last good Sonic title being Sonic and Knuckles. But the reality is Sonic Mania feels just as incredible and amazing as the classic Sonic titles ever felt, and that's what I love about it. This game manages to capture the same feeling of playing Sonic for the first time on a Sega Genesis, all while acting as a new progression and take on the series. From the moment you start up the game, you're hit with vibrant colors and sounds reminiscent of the early 90s. From a beautifully animated opening cutscene to the newly designed, highly detailed sprites and wonderfully composed music tracks, both the art style and music help to achieve an aesthetic that create a feeling of nostalgia for old fans, but also is just new enough to attract the attention of new players. In terms of gameplay, Sonic Mania plays and feels just like a classic 2D Sonic title. With the exception of one new ability from Sonic called the Drop Dash, every character has the same abilities and physics from before, which is a perfect example of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. A second player can also join in the fun with a second controller a la Sonic 2. The gameplay feels smooth and fluid, complemented by the fantastic level design. Replayability through each level is extremely high, not only for those trying to get the fastest time, but simply playing as Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles allows for different routes to be taken and create different experiences for each character. Sonic Mania has 12 different levels or zones. Some of these zones are remixes of previous zones from earlier titles. Thankfully, it's much more than just a repeat of the same old levels. These remixed works have been given new mechanics and small additions that help keep it feeling fresh and new. Keeping in tradition with classic titles, Each zone has several acts with a boss at the end. Speaking of bosses, you don't simply fight Eggman this time around. Sonic Mania introduces a new cast of characters known as Hard-Boiled Heavies, a series of robots created by Eggman. Boss fights have a range in difficulty, some being simple, to others having more in-depth mechanics that will keep you guessing and on your toes. Even then, no boss fight ever feels unfair or too punishing. Everything has a great balance and feels just right. Perhaps the biggest challenge that Sonic Mania presents is collecting all the Chaos Emeralds. Doing so will unlock the true ending to the game, but collecting them is no easy feat. We won't give away anything in the review, but certain requirements have to be met in order to access a special stage. Once the special stage is reached, you then have the opportunity to complete a challenge for a Chaos Emerald. So if you miss one in your first playthrough, you'll definitely be heading back for round 2, because it's simply that addicting. Overall, Sonic Mania is an incredible title that will hopefully revitalize the Sonic franchise. It's a love letter to the classic Sonic games, and a new adventure all in one. Fans of the Genesis era from Sonic 1 to and Knuckles will be incredibly thrilled to play what feels like a true sequel they've been waiting on since the mid-1990s. But even then, newer fans will have the time of their lives blasting through levels as the Blue Blur and doing whatever it takes to stop Dr. Eggman. Could Sonic Mania open the way for future 2D Sonic titles? We certainly hope so. 5 spin dashes out of 5.
So that was our review for Sonic Mania. Darnell, I know you're excited that they finally have a good Sonic game now.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's been a long time since we've been able to say that.
Yeah, very long
the true
time.
successor of Sonic and Knuckles.
Shout out to Sonic Unleashed.
We don't talk about Sonic
At all.
At all. So anyway, I want to thank y'all for watching Ultima Gaming Live today.
Wait. Side note, Nintendo, let other people use your properties.
It's okay.
Look at what happened with Sonic Mania. It's prime example.
Well, I think Mario plus Rabbids will be good.
That'll
That'll be in the next episode.
Oh, all right.
So there you go. So hey, again, thank you all so much for watching Ultima Gaming Live. For more information, please go to VGX7TV.com. Check out our website, our forums. We are the social media, Facebook and Twitter. And again, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.